that it's all the more reason why we have the moral right to eat animals. Hamburgers don't just taste good, they are also ethically good. And maybe that's why vegan food tastes so horrible.
Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. I want to give a big shout out to my longtime moderator and friend Peter for letting me know about this totally unhinged video by right-wing political commentator Matt Walsh, just saying some of the most outrageous and patently false things you could ever possibly say about veganism and vegan diets. And speaking of right-wing, this video has absolutely nothing to do with politics. I've made videos responding to left-wing commentator Hassan Abi when he said some really stupid things about veganism. So back to Matt here. He tried attacking veganism using two approaches. One was through attacking the food, and the other was trying to attack it philosophically. So let's start off with the food first.
Your food tastes like crap. Your food doesn't even taste like food. It tastes like you're eating random household objects.
So already those first "your food" words he uttered show we're off to a really bad start here. What do you mean, your food? You realize vegans eat plants, right? I mean, yeah, you could eat some processed stuff if you want, but I mean, we eat plants. I mean, it's not like our potatoes and our bananas and our beans or whatever. Everyone eats that stuff. And when he says your food tastes like random household objects, like, what the F? I mean, does Matt have a lot of experience shoving plastic and crap in his mouth?
Vegan cheese is like eating a candle.
I really doubt he's ever eaten any vegan cheese or candles.
Tofu is like you ordered something fragile on Amazon and then ate the styrofoam packaging that it came in.
Wow, dismissing tofu, a traditional, nutritious, and culturally important food in many Asian cultures. It's been consumed in Asia for over 2,000 years and reflects the total lack of understanding of the culinary heritage of these Asian cultures, which I come from. His comment borders on racism, and it's most definitely culturally insensitive.
Vegan bacon is like if you then ate the cardboard box.
$5 says he's never once eaten any vegan bacon. I can't even remember the last time I ever had vegan bacon, by the way.
Vegan beef tastes like soggy rubber that someone, heated up in a microwave. Vegan chicken tastes like a piece of yoga mat folded up with sawdust inside. It's rancid, nauseating, offensive.
I just gotta wonder, did he write a script with all this crap, or is he just making this up freestyling? And also, let me just stop Matt's fantasy here of what he falsely believes that all his vegans are eating Impossible burgers and all this fake meat crap all day. I mean, you can, and some do, but pretty much like 99.9% of all long-term vegans I know eat pretty much like I do. The staples of vegan diets matter not beyond Impossible burgers. It's legumes, grains, potatoes, starches, fruits, and vegetables. Yeah, once in a while I might get a vegan burger or something like that, but we're not eating those things all freaking day long.
Vegan food is so bad that it's upsetting on an emotional level. The last time I tried a vegan product, I got so sad that I almost cried. I didn't, but I almost did.
I mean, just grow a freaking pear, Matt. I mean, if the sight of tofu or potatoes makes you want to cry, stop being such a easily offended, precious snowflake.
And that's the main reason that veganism failed. It's a dietary fad, but the diet is so repugnant that its adherents need the government to intervene on their behalf. Okay? That's the problem.
What in the hell are you talking about? Me, as a vegan, I need the government to intervene on my behalf so I can go to the store and buy potatoes and legumes and stuff? I honestly have no idea what he's talking about. It seems completely contradictory to everything I know. So I reached out to use some AI to help me figure out what is he talking about when Matt Walsh said that the adherents of vegan diets need, quote,
need the government to intervene on their behalf.
By the way, I used Perplexity. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. And it said that comment comes from his critiques that vegan diets and vegan food products are not popular or successful enough on their own merits in the free market. And he argues that veganism relies on government support and intervention. So that confirms what I thought he was trying to say. I said it runs contradictory to everything I thought. So he really makes it sound like he believes in some kind of free market capitalism and veganism can't stand on its own, so it needs government support. But is he completely unaware or just being a hypocrite about the $38 billion that the meat and dairy industry receives from our government every year? So anyway, in comparison, let's see how the subsidies went for the plant-based food alternatives. Well, remember, we have $38 billion for the meat and dairy industries in the United States. Well, I had to do some searching. And again, this is kind of tough to find the numbers for, but Perplexity showed that globally for plant-based food subsidies, globally, not just for the United States, it was a paltry $500 million compared to the $38 billion just from the United States for the meat and dairy industries. To put that in perspective, between 2014 and 2020, the EU put in about 1,200 times more money into meat and dairy industry subsidies than for plant-based food subsidies. 1,200 times more. So what about what I thought about Matt being some pro-free market economy person, given that his precious meat and dairy industries receive so much government subsidies? Matt, you're completely wrong here about vegans and vegan food companies relying on government subsidies.
The other problem is philosophical.
Great, let's do some philosophical discussion here, because that's what I studied in college on both the undergrad and graduate level.
And the philosophical problem is that veganism is morally incoherent.
Not sure what Matt's background is in philosophy, but for Matt to describe veganism as being, quote, morally incoherent means that somehow at the core of vegan beliefs, there is an inherent contradiction. So Matt, please spell it out for me. What is this contradiction I've been carrying around all these years and wasn't aware of until you just brought it up for me right now? So I guess now would be a very appropriate time to have a look at the definition of veganism, because I think it very clearly states what our core beliefs are as vegans. And as we see here, it's really nothing more than having a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation, with the addition of putting some practices into your life, such as avoiding animal products.
You know, I won't even get into the fact that if you think meat is murder, it makes no sense to sell food that's supposed to look and taste like murder.
It's funny how he says he's not going to get into that, but he spends the next few minutes doing nothing but getting into that.
Like, if I wanted to make the point that cannibalism is bad, I wouldn't sell food that's made to look and taste like human flesh. Cannibalism is bad, so try our new human thighs. You'll never believe it. You're not consuming an actual human limb. It seems like a bizarre sales pitch if you morally object to the thing that the food is imitating.
Well, that's a touching story, Matt, how you don't want to eat human thighs, but your story about cannibalism does nothing as far as demonstrating a moral incoherence for veganism. Remember, moral incoherence arises from some kind of internal contradiction in our ethical beliefs. And there's no internal contradiction when a vegan chooses to eat a plant-based food that resembles some animal-based food, but there was no cruelty involved in bringing about that plant-based food. There was no contradiction in the ethics of avoiding animal cruelty and exploitation. And I do know many vegans who are kind of grossed out when they see an Impossible Burger or Beyond Burger because it resembles an actual animal product so much, despite what Matt's saying, how they taste like styrofoam and cardboard and stuff like that. My point is, if that bothers you, that connection, that resemblance, then simply don't eat it. No one is forcing vegans to eat this stuff.
But more importantly, veganism hinges on the idea that human beings are not superior to animals. They say that we are animals ourselves, no better than any other animals in the animal kingdom. But
I know, let's look at the definition of veganism one more time. I don't remember anything in here about humans being superior or not being superior to animals. No, it's simply a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. And Matt's claim here that veganism depends on this denying of human superiority distorts what veganism actually is, a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. In essence, he's creating a straw man, a simplified caricature of what he thinks veganism is to make it more easily attackable, rather than engaging with the actual moral arguments that vegans actually use.
if you just eat vegetables, you will die.
Which brings us to another fallacy known as he's fucking lying. I mean, there's absolutely zero evidence out there to suggest in any way that vegans or vegetarians who don't have any of this precious meat are going to die due to malnutrition or something like that. In fact, the science shows, if you look at the actual science, Matt, health organizations have reviewed it and have made position statements stating very clearly that well-planned vegan diets are nutritionally adequate for all people. So now I'd like to ask a question of Matt. how long is this death thing going to take to kick in for me now? It's not supposed to happen according to the science, but according to your theory, I should be dead. But I've been vegan now pretty much for 15 years. And I'm a lot older than Matt too, so I should have all sorts of health complications. Yet despite my horribly deficient diet, Matt, I have very good blood labs that have been put up on YouTube. In fact, I'm going to temporarily pause the chill, critical thinking philosopher side of me and become more of an a-hole like Matt just for a minute here, because judging by his appearances, I thought he was a bit older than he actually is. I was guessing, maybe like 45, maybe 47, not sure. Well, it turns out I was way off. He's 39. I'm 58. I'm 19 years older than Matt, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, Matt. I bet you $100 I have better, healthier blood labs than you, and I also will bet another $100 I have higher testosterone levels.
Like in the animal kingdom, if an animal needs to eat meat, they'll just eat meat. They have no compunction about it. They don't debate the ethics. They kill and they eat. This is the way of life. It's how nature works. And if we are but animals ourselves, shouldn't we be a part of this natural process?
Which brings us to Matt's next logical fallacy, appeal to nature. He argued that just because something is, quote, natural, it is therefore valid, justified, inevitable, good, or ideal. So let's check out some wonderful, ideal things that animals do in nature that humans ought to do as well.
Many animals even start eating their meal before it's all the way dead. This is the way of life. It's how nature works. And
yeah, I bet you're doing that all the time, right, Matt? I doubt it, because that's absolutely gross and inhumane. And let's check out some other wonderful, ideal things that animals do in nature that humans ought to do as well, such as eating their own poop or eating their own young, or at least the young of another animal from their species. So you can see, once someone invokes an appeal to nature fallacy, you can reduce what they're saying to complete absurdity.
Isn't that the most organic thing we can do? Is to just be a part of the cycle of life?
So it was obvious you suck as a philosopher, Matt. You didn't prove any kind of moral incoherence, but you're also proving that you're quite horrible at biology too. You're not aware that plants are living things. They're part of ecosystems. They provide food, oxygen, and habitat. They're essential parts of natural food chains and energy flow, supporting many animals. So to exclude plants from the life cycle or the circle of life is completely unjustified and completely wrong. I mean, every time I do one of these response videos, so somebody's just flat out lying, just making complete crap up about veganism using logical fallacies and just flat out lies, I ask myself, and it's just a rhetorical ask, like, why? Why do people have to do this? Why can't people just go about their lives and not have to be bigoted towards vegans and veganism? I mean, especially as you see here, this bigotry is founded on just nothing. It's just bullshit. Just complete misinformation, lies, and that's this dude's justification and many other people's justification for hating people like me. I mean, for God's sake, the title of his video is "Nobody Likes Vegans." And sadly, there's plenty of people like Matt out there who will hate you, or at least strongly dislike you, simply for a belief that you have about animal cruelty and exploitation being wrong. And most of these types are people exactly like Matt. They put off this tough image, but when you get down to it, they're complete precious snowflakes when they encounter people whose beliefs are different from theirs. And if you're one of these precious snowflake people, please come to my Friday live stream. This Friday would be a great time, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Be civil and we could try to have a conversation. And for all you awesome non-precious snowflakes, come as well. I look forward to seeing you all. So if you like this video, hit like, subscribe if you're new, share this video, hit the notification bell to get all my videos and all the Angie's 7 vegan meal short videos. And I'll see you guys Friday. Remember, until then, doesn't like being vegan.